When I was a fourth grade kid, I remember coming home and turning on the TV, and it was the first time in my life that I saw skateboarding. I remember watching this skate contest. Tony Hawk did this crazy trick, landed it, and my mind was completely blown. And I remember thinking to myself, this is what I want to do. I want to be a skateboarder. And so like any kid in my neighborhood, I saved up as much money as I could over the next couple months, and I bought my first skateboard. I went to a skate shop, I picked out the board, I picked out the wheels, I picked out the trucks, I put stickers all over it, and I had my first skateboard. And I remember being so excited thinking, this is the thing that I want to do for the rest of my life. And I got to the skate park, and like any skate park, this one had a culture. There was the older kids, there was the younger kids, there was the really good kids, and there were the kids who were just learning how to skate for the first time. And there was one kid in particular named T-Roy, and T-Roy was kind of the man. He had the coolest clothes, he was obviously the best skateboarder there, and everyone seemed to follow whatever he did. Whatever T-Roy was doing, everyone else wanted to do, and I was the same way. He was a couple years older than me, and he was a huge influence on me, and he had no idea. And I'll never forget one time, off to the side, working on a trick by myself, T-Roy and his friends, they kind of noticed me for the first time, and they started to skate towards me. And him and his friends, they stopped about 10 feet short of where I was skateboarding. They looked at me, and they just started to make fun of me. T-Roy started to make fun of the way that I skated. He made fun of my clothes. He made fun of my hair, and I was crushed. I was devastated. And it's honestly the first time in my life that I ever really remember just getting bullied. And that one single act, that one comment from someone that meant a lot to me, it took skateboarding away from me. And I stopped skating for almost 10 years. It was nearly a decade before I ever got back on a skateboard again. And T-Roy, he stole something from me that day. And for the next couple years, I really just kind of floundered. I didn't really know who I was. I didn't really know what I cared about. And I always loved skateboarding, but I was just terrified to try. I was terrified to get back into it because I just didn't want to get picked on. I didn't want to get bullied. And I think a lot of people feel that way. I think a lot of us have experienced it. We've either been told we weren't good at something and wanted to quit, we've been made fun of and been afraid to try again, or we've had something stolen from us.
I've dealt with bullying, and it was a terrible experience.
Being bullied doesn't just affect you physically, but as well as mentally.
I was bullied so bad growing up.
They laugh at them in the hallway, post about them on social media.
Why are people treating me this way?
It's really hard to go through and face that.
I normally hung around with guys because girls are just not nice.
I was being bullied during already one of the most difficult times in my life.
Whether it's the words that you write to each other online, the things that you tweet, the stuff that you say in a YouTube comment, I don't think everyone understands that bullying always causes a response. The first response that's typically associated with someone being bullied is that they retaliate. They take it back out on the person that was saying something mean to them. And before long, we're caught in this vicious cycle of he did something to me, so I've got to do something to him, or she said something to me, so I've got to say something about her. And all that we know is we're caught up in this game of trying to get even and trying to say something mean about each other. The second response associated with bullying is that they take it out on someone else, whether it's in person or online. I think hurt people oftentimes really do hurt people. And what happens is somebody says something mean to them and they feel powerless, like they can't say or do anything to get back at that person. So they find a weaker person or a lesser person or a distant person and they take it out on them online. And I really do think that that's one of the most common side effects that we see today in a person's life after they've been bullied. The third response, and the scariest of all, is that they take it out on themselves. And that leads to a rise in suicide or cutting or self-harm or depression. And I really do believe that a lot of the reason that kids are depressed or hurting today is just that they've been picked on and bullied and they don't have a voice.
It degrades your self-esteem. It makes you feel worse and worse about yourself.
You feel like every word that they say is like a kick in the stomach.
It was probably one of the worst things that have ever happened to me.
It makes you feel bad about yourself. It just makes me feel like completely broken that people can actually act this way.
No matter how many schools we go to or hundreds of thousands of people that we speak to, there are always going to be those people in this world who love to make fun of or pick on the people around them, honestly because I think it makes them feel better about themselves. So if that's you, if you're that bully, if you're that person who uses your words to harm people, my challenge for you would be this. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself, what is that thing inside of me that feels the need to rob people of something? What is that thing in me that feels the need to rob someone of their joy? What is that thing that lives inside of me that wants to hurt people? And ask yourself that question. Why do I need to be a bully? I can tell you what bullying won't get you. It won't get you real friends. It won't get you true joy. It won't be satisfying. That kind of behavior, it always catches up to you. You know what is tough? You know what does have power? Recognizing that you're wrong, admitting that you're wrong, asking for forgiveness, that takes power. And for those of you being bullied, your instinct is that you're going to want to respond. You're gonna wanna retaliate on the person that's hurting you. You're gonna wanna take it out on someone else, whether in person or online, or you're gonna wanna take it out on yourself. I want you to understand something. You matter, you're important, you've got value. And please don't let someone rob you of your joy. Don't let someone steal from you the thing it is that you love to do. You wanna know the best way to stand up to a bully? Is continue to do the things that you love. Stand up for yourself. Continue to be you. And if you see bullying happening at school, whether it's in the halls or it's happening online, know that you have the power to help. So be that person. Be that person who speaks for silent kids. Be that person who stands for broken people. I had skateboarding taken away from me for almost 10 years because of one thing that someone said. And I wish I would have had the courage to stand up for myself. I wish someone else would have had the courage to stand up for me. You see, when we stand up in the face of bullying, we not only have the power to change someone's life, we have the power to save someone's life.